life is my story. Anybody looking at my life would know who Ababu Namwamba is. And I've said it before, that the blood of Ababu Namwamba is so incompatible with that of Jubilee. You bring that, the blood of the two together, you get a clot. A fatal clot that will kill you.
Okay.
And about Reloaded, I can tell you that there's forces of regression within the party who killed Reloaded before it achieved its aims. And those forces are retrogressive. And by the way, it is not unique to ODM. There are always dark forces within every political movement. And so, I have said here that as Reloaded, I was merely a tool to be deployed to wage war. As the Secretary General, I want to be the one responsible for deploying formations that go to war. And remember, let me say this point. Raila Odinga is like a soldier on the battlefield that has fired his gun so many times that his gun has got only one bullet now remaining. And when you're a soldier on the battlefield and your gun has got only one bullet, it means that you cannot take any chances.
Okay.
That bullet either hits the bull's eye or you are no. And you need a general to help our party leader to hit the bull's eye. And that general is Ababu Namwamba.
Mr. Gumbo, a viewer's thoughts for you. Your description about Honorable Ngumba are correct. I would say that he's also a coward. He's standing on the fence on virtually everything. If elected, he can easily be manipulated. Next in Kitale.
Well, that's his opinion. I have never been manipulated before on anything, and I'm not about to start being manipulated now.
Okay. Let's talk about delegates. The delegates list. The delegates list, which you have asked to be published.
Yes, yes.
Because you are worried. The reason why you want it open is because you are worried maybe it may be manipulated. But even if it's published, what about element of corruption? We know that delegates can be bought because they are viable and they are people with money. And particularly because some of you are claiming that Jubilee is interested in the election.
Jubilee is interested. Jubilee is interested in anything that ODM does. Yeah. Jubilee knows that their most potent, their most lethal rival for power in this country is the Orange House. And so Jubilee will go to any extent to attempt to disorient, to disorganize, and to mess up with. We know it, and Jubilee knows it, and it's a reality of politics. You'll always want to disorient your rival. And Jubilee would want to use this opportunity to disorient us. We are simply telling Jubilee, we are aware, and we will not let you disorient us. Now, about corruption and all that, Mutegi, pick any business or any human enterprise that has no risk and put it on the table for me. One single human enterprise that has got no element of risk. Everything, even being born and living on this earth itself, is fraught with risks. And so this election has got risks. And what we do is to make every effort to minimize those risks. And so when we say publish the list, give every delegate the confidence that they'll not arrive at Kasarani and find parallel lists which could cause confusion. It could even become chaotic, by the way. You travel all the way from Kinango, you arrive at Kasarani and you find that someone else is claiming the same position that you are holding as a delegate from Kinango. And so this will simply engender confidence and also ensure that this exercise is smooth and it's credible. And so we are not doing this because we are fighting anything. We are doing this to protect and to minimize any risks that may encumber this process. And so publish the lists, give the mode of election. Yesterday we insisted that we want a secret ballot.
He doesn't want a secret ballot.
I want a secret ballot myself because I'm very confident that in a secret ballot I have 90% of the delegates in my corner. No, there'll be no blood. By the way, forget that nonsense of blood. I believe that the honorable delegates of this party are mature people, they're intelligent people, they're honorable people. They'll come to Kasarani to make a decision that they believe is in the best interest of the party. Anybody talking about chaos, anybody talking about blood, those are the people who may be having certain ulterior motives and plans. But if you allow these delegates to do their thing openly, freely, credibly, there are certain, in fact we'll all be dancing and celebrating the orange at Kasarani. I have no doubt about that.
So where he seems to sit on the fence, you come across as being quite brash. And a couple of our viewers are picking up on that. Peter in Nanyuki, kindly tell Honorable Namwamba not to drag the media and Jubilee into ODM politics. When a member cried in public, was it the media or Jubilee? Let's be honest.
I am being honest, by the way, when I say that I suspect there has been an agenda to paint these races in a certain negative light. If you're persistently dragging the party leader's name, you want to paint the party leader. Basically, you are setting up the party leader that whichever way this thing turns, you want to set up the party leader to come out looking bad.
Aren't you in danger of being seen as one of these politicians who scapegoats the media and
I'm not scapegoating. I'm simply saying, for instance, when Raila Odinga consistently says he has no preferred list.
And so we've moved on from that. Now we're asking you.
Why doesn't the media give that prominence?
But okay, listen.
No, we've moved on from that.
Of course, the media will report that the party leader has said he has no list.
Yes.
But the media is not, enjoined to only report that position.
Yes.
They could report the positions of others who are saying, actually, this is the list. And as you know, this is political. This is politics. Skullduggery.
I have no issues against the media.
What the problem here is to blame the media, because the media does not originate the story. The media sources the story from within the party.
And it reflects what's going on in your party.
Let me tell you one thing. You can, and the gentleman from the UK. I am a very strong defender of the media. Whenever any issues touching on the media have come to the house, when there's the last hullabaloo and everybody is doing gagging the media, I was one of the very clear, strong voices that have always defended the right of the media to be left independent and to do their thing. And so my commitment to freedom of the media is really unimpeachable. But what I'm saying is that when a race of this nature is going on, you cannot really discount that rivals will use all sorts of means. In fact, I would be surprised if they did not try. So really
if I may also,
just a minute, Mr.
Of course, the issue about Jubilee's interest, you wouldn't expect Jubilee to be designing solutions for ODM for sure. So really, like my colleague says, I would be surprised. I would even be surprised if they just took a cursory. It is in Jubilee's interest, which is not in our interest, that we have that they have a weak opposition. And that's why I'm insisting that whatever happens out of this, for the sake of, not just for ODM's sake, but for the sake of the country. Because you know that what we have been seeing, you saw a lot of when we, for example, the 11th Parliament was convened. There's a lot of, on the Jubilee side, a lot of din, a lot of noise, people wanting to godify the president, things that we have come from in the past. It is our duty to make sure that we give Kenyans the true perspective of the country, and that we can do by being a strong opposition party.
How would you forge that strength, given that we've seen a lot of disarray within the opposition camp? How would you address that? My design because one of the reasons, in fact, why we are where we are today, and as Ababu rightly said, is because of the chaotic nature of our nominations. Some of us, even in the last Parliament, were of the view that we have a process where the nominations, because you see, when we did our nominations, it was done almost to the day of presenting papers to IEBC. So there was really no time for house cleaning. And some of us have the view, and it is how it really happened, because like I said, party elections really are an internal affair. At the end of the day... So how would you forge strength? Let's answer that question.
How I would forge strength, I believe in consensus for sure. Because without consensus, we would go there. Today, for example, let me give you an example. We go to Kasarani, and for some reason, because politics also is about perception, and perception is not necessarily reality.
Okay, so you go to Kasarani, you're trying to build this consensus. How would you go about it?
It is always, how would go about it? For example, there has to be certain groups really that have to be protected, in my view.
Such as?
such as gender, for example. You have to give certain guaranteed minimum for gender. You have to give certain guaranteed minimum for the youth. We would go there. Myself and the Honorable Ababu here, we have a national platform. We speak from Parliament. People know us. If there could be maybe a young man from Coast who truly believes, probably believes more in the party than I do, but because they don't have the privilege of having that national platform, it may not be possible for the delegates to have heard about them, to know their abilities to be able to deliver for the party. So I am a strong believer in consensus, and I believe that going forward, that truly is the way that this party is going to come
How do you then respond to critics who would say that consensus can be a reflection of the elite groups within a party?
It doesn't have to be elitist at all. The reason why it doesn't have to be elitist is because...
or the owners of the party, to rephrase it then.
It's not about...
we hear about that existing.
No. It doesn't have to be about the owners of the party. But, you know, people have said, for example, that our party leader has a preferred list. Of course, as a human being, even I mean, I'm a parent, even in my house. I don't look at my children. I may not tell them that this is my preferred child, but in terms of how I interact with them, I don't look at them the same way. There are some... Maybe
you're going to have problems when you go back home today, won't you?
No. I've not said which one I like and which one I don't like. But I'm only saying that depending... Of course, there are some, for example, you have some when you come home.
So, in Gumbo, in your politics, where is the space for democracy? Because it's all about consensus. Where is the space for competition? Where is the space for democracy? Where people really exercise their right without being... because consensus is a lot of compromises.
Yes.
And injustice is transacted in the course of consensus. So, like now we would say, out of consensus, let Namwamba be the Secretary General.
Let me give you an example. Like the last election, why were our nominations so chaotic? Our nominations were so chaotic because for example, in Budalagi, we knew all along that Ababu has been steadfast with the party. In Rarieda, we knew all along Gumbo has been steadfast with the party. You have somebody coming in the last minute, he pays and he says he's a member of the party. Where is this sudden interest coming from? That all of a sudden he knows what is good for the party.
Well, that's why if somebody has been steadfast in the party, that should translate into some support and following.
Yes.
Why would it not? Why would it need to be protected by consensus? So then your time marked in that party is totally futile.
You have competed in, you have taken part in competitive elections, and the dynamics are not exactly...
happily there was no consensus about it.
Let's take a break, because we have just 15 minutes
because I would have suffered this consensus business.
We have just 15 minutes left on the show. Let's take a break and try and move things along quickly. This is Cheche, live on Citizen TV. The members of Parliament for Rarieda and Budalagi, Nicholas Gumbo and Ababu Namwamba are our guests this morning. We'll see you after this short break.